Hi everyone, I'm TigerHawk3. Short stream tonight, but Python. Let's talk about 4 functions you probably shouldn't be using. I'm not going to say never, but basically never. Those functions are built in. They are locals, globals, exec, and eval. Those 2 pairs of functions are similar. Locals and globals do a similar kind of thing, and exec and eval are also pretty similar. Let's look at locals. Wow, we get a bunch of stuff. This is, I'll just tell you what it is. This is the local variables. All the variable names in the local namespace that can be looked up in the as a dictionary. This is very handy, right? What if you have some function that you're writing and you want to just get all the variables in it to iterate through everything? Sometimes this does something that looks useful, and you can accomplish things with it. But every time that I've seen, there's a better way to do whatever you're trying to do. Same with globals. This is everything in the global namespace. I think these are currently the same. Let's define a function and then print locals. Let's call it, and there's nothing, because there's nothing in that. So that's the local dictionary of that function, where we hadn't defined anything, so it's empty. Why shouldn't you use these? Because, as you can see, we can access them just fine, but if we try changing one of them, we can reassign a new object to that dictionary. It generally won't work, won't do what you think it will, so it can't be used in the manner that it looks like it can, because you're really not supposed to. It doesn't work. Don't use these things for anything other than debugging purposes. I want to see what variables I've defined so far so that I can, see what's up with my program at this point. I don't know, whatever. I've never even wanted to use them for debugging, so I don't know, just stay away. Next, eval and exec. Eval, about 3. We get the number 3, because the everything we type into here is a string. I mean, it's just keyboard input. So if we type the string of 3, what we would get is 3. That's evaluated. Now, what if we have some user input? Eval input. What is your age? So I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to say, here's my age, and then it spits out 30. Great, so we can use it for that, right? But what if we did eval, input what is your age, and it said my age is underscore import os.system cls is my age. Then you clear the screen. That's probably not what we intended when we were trying to get a number out of the age. If you want to get an integer, by the way, use the int built-in function. So I think that can kind of demonstrate why eval is dangerous. It evaluates the entered string. It says this is a valid Python expression and I want to evaluate it. It can do probably a lot of things that you didn't want. It's often used by people who don't know about functions like int, and also when trying to build a calculator in Python, which is not a good starter project, because they can very easily get very bloated and very unsafe. Bloated if you don't use eval, and unsafe if you do. This is especially a problem when you're working with something that may be online, so you're taking input from untrusted users. And so if someone thinks it'll be hilarious to enter an expression that ends up, deleting the hard drive, they could do that. It's very bad. Exec is similar. I'll try eval first. How about x equals 3? We can't do that because that's invalid syntax. That's not an expression. That is a statement. How about exec of x equals 3? We can do that. Now we look up x. It is 3. So eval evaluates Python expressions. Exec can not only evaluate Python expressions, it can do that. It executes code. So it executed 3, which doesn't do anything. Nothing is returned. That's it. But the code 3 was it was executed. Just like x equals 3, but then we can look up x and see that it's 3. So this is even more stuff than eval can do. So yeah, if you're doing anything with user input, avoid exec and eval like the plague, because the user will input something that they're not supposed to, and your program will possibly do something very bad. Or malicious, maybe, probably. Anything you put on the internet is likely to be messed with, if possible. I think that's it for today. Just wanted a quick stream and avoid using these functions. It's good to know about them and know what they do and know why you shouldn't use them. But that's about as far as it goes. Don't use them. I'm sure it's possible that they'd be useful in production code. I've used exec in a program of mine, but it doesn't do anything online, has no internet component. It's part of my chess game that I wrote for a console. In some games you can press like tilde or control tilde or something and get a console where you can enter cheat codes and stuff. In the chess game you like control shift tilde and you get a console where you can enter Python code. And so was very extremely handy for debugging, because if something if I got an error of some kind when trying to do something, I could basically do print debugging right there without having to add it to the source code. Very handy. And also you can use it to cheat, put pieces wherever you want, etc. But yeah, basically don't use them. It's just not a good idea. Unless you're absolutely sure and you can't find any other way and you've asked other people, how do I do this, and you're sure that it's safe, etc., and that it'll work and not be fragile, then maybe. But probably not. Anyway, that is the stream for tonight. And tomorrow, video game of some kind, not sure which one. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a good one.